I wanted to bring you back also to the energy side of that previous question, and that's a big one. And I think perhaps you alluded to, perhaps even an element of NIMBYism in the community. But a lot of people are genuinely concerned about the impact of wind turbines, solar panels, solar farms on their properties. I think both the visual impact, concerns about what it's doing to the environment, things like that. But at the same time, I suppose we know that the economy is going in this direction inevitably. The rest of the world is going in this direction inevitably. You spoke last night about coal still being a really important part of the New South Wales economy, the most important in fact, and the export demand for coal is obviously still through the roof. How do we get that balance right so that we are not, I suppose, killing the goose that laid the golden egg in terms of transitioning too quickly, and also not imposing? I know there are a lot of communities who, especially overwhelmingly in the bush, who feel like, the city does all the talking, but they're the ones who wear all the consequences of transition. How do you see us managing that in a way that doesn't unfairly put pressure on people in the bush?
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, I spoke, I think, extensively today about the importance of primary industries to the New South Wales economy, and we need that sector to grow. It's full of entrepreneurs. They're very dynamic, very focused on international markets. I think we've got clever people in that part of the New South Wales economy to be lifted up in the next few years, and that's going to have to be part of the solution when inevitably natural resources declines as a percentage of our economic output. We've got to get the energy transition done right, and I acknowledge that there's a real community concern about it traversing, particularly the transmission lines across primary agricultural land. I'm looking at the costs as well. I mean, some estimates suggest that it'll be 3 times more expensive to underground it or earth it as opposed to put it in the air. And the significant costs associated with the transition have to be part of our discussion on renewable energy as well. I mean, we can't have a situation where we're all focused on renewable energy and decreasing our carbon footprint, but the prices skyrocket as a result. So it's a real paradox. I don't have an easy answer to it, Joe. It's part of the reason why we've had a regional inquiry that's looking really closely at it. And I just want to be honest about that. If I had a solution, I'd present it here today because I know it's causing anxiety amongst regional communities. In relation to the Central West Renewable Energy Zone, Matt Keane guided that through the New South Wales Parliament. A couple of people asked at the time, given that the East Coast Energy Network is closer to the sea, why is it in the middle of the country? And we have to deal with the decision that was made by the previous government. I think we can get there, but it's complex. Yeah.
And on that note as well, and there was something that I was speaking to someone last night when we had the dinner to welcome all the delegates, and it was just extraordinary. And I'm an art student, so I can't get my head around this, but they've invented a way to make water out of air. This is a local Tamworth company that's actually invented a way to extract water from air. Now, bugger me if I know how that works, but it is an example of just how brilliant and innovative thinking is in the bush. And often, I think when you're at the coalface of the elements and you need a certain amount of water or irrigation moisture to make things grow better, it sharpens the mind. And Madison has asked, what support is available to help build innovative regional communities?
Well, I think we need to do better in this place. If you look at just the raw output in the agriculture sector, it's huge. As I said, over $100 billion a year to the New South Wales economy. But if you go and speak to any farmer, rice growers down in the Murrumbidgee or the Murray, if you go and speak to cattle guys or cotton people out west, they'll all tell you that they're at the cutting edge of farming practices in their community. And they're right. That means that they're driving efficiencies, they're using water more efficiently, and as a result, they've got long-term plans for growth and expansion on smaller and smaller parcels of land. I think the key opportunity is using some of that technology and applying it to other markets around the world. And that's on the tech side of agriculture. Now, I know farmers in New South Wales are doing just that. I think there's a role for government to look for the latest innovations, whether it's partnering with universities or even just knowledge off the land, and seeing whether we can apply that to farms and agriculture in the US, Europe, and South America. They're big food bowls as well, and we know they're not as efficient as we are. So small changes in technology could drive major environmental and economic benefits in other parts of the world. and we would get a residual of that. Not me personally.
No, that's right. The great people of New South Wales.
Absolutely.
That's right. Yeah, no, it was amazing. Years ago, on a side note, I was down the road in the Upper Hunter talking to people at the height of the drought, and it was just amazing the innovation that people were. There was someone who'd set up, we're able to grow, grass, feed plants in 7 days, I think, in this sort of hydroponic sort of setup. It reminded me of my uni days, actually. But anyway, that's enough of that. We are out of time, but Chris Minns, Premier of New South Wales, thank you so much for joining us here at the Book Summit. We really appreciate it.